Hello everyone, this is my review for TNA Impact Wrestling on August 7, 2014. And as everybody as they've been promoting the show the whole week, this was the week that Dixie Carter finally goes through the table. And basically on that selling point, that would probably bring people in to watch the show in any way, shape, or form. What I was kind of hoping to see was a better show in general. You know, you had the Hardcore War match. So you already had one match that was based around weapons. Why are you having another that's completely based around weapons? Because they decided to go with a Monsters Ball match with Bram and Abyss. And honestly, that match itself was very lackluster and not that entertaining to watch. It was not a good weapons match in any way. And I did not enjoy that match at all. Same with the Hardcore War match. It was a nice little take on War Games, but... and this is mostly because of everybody, like pretty much who was involved with it. The only people that were involved with it that I actually liked or had any kind of good ring timing or anything there was EC3, Rhino, and Bully Ray. Otherwise, Snitsky and Rick Long, or formerly Ezekiel Jackson, they weren't any good. Having Tommy Dreamer and Devon in there, they didn't really come off all that good inside the match. And, the one little cool aspect was the whole who was the mystery partner. I liked what they did going back to Al Snow's old, ECW type entrance with the strobe lighting and everybody having the mannequin heads in the crowd. That was a little cool, but after that it was pretty much, well, it was Al Snow. And he's not all that good, honestly. So those matches kind of became very lackluster. Also, you had the six-man tag with the Bromans and Gunner, Samuel Shaw, and Mr. Anderson. The one real good aspect behind that is the whole, really, who's going to become the heel in this sense, because you have Anderson, who doesn't trust Samuel Shaw for what he did in the past. So does Shaw kind of go back to what he was doing? Does Anderson become a heel because he just can't trust this guy? Or will Gunner just become the heel in a sense? Or maybe you'll have a combination of two people becoming the heel at the same time. So it'll be a little bit interesting to see where they go with something like that, or if they even complete that type of storyline. Honestly, probably the best match of the there was only 4 matches, so the best match of the night, honestly, and it was actually a really good match and very entertaining to watch, was the Triple Threat X Division title match with Samoa Joe, Sonata, and and Homicide, and they just came off really well in the ring. No, it wasn't Homicide, it was Low Key. Sorry about that. It slipped my mind there for a moment. But all 3 of them came off really well in the ring, and it was just a fun and entertaining X Division title match to watch. It's good to see that they're gonna probably. You're putting one of your big stars back into where his element was, which was the X Division with Samoa Joe. Hopefully Low Key will be sticking around for a while. He's still really good in the ring, and Sonata's kind of becoming his own, and we're gonna see where he goes with his his X Division and his heel turn aspect towards TNA with him and James Storm. So hopefully they'll continue building on that. You did have a knockout segment on there with Gail Kim and Angelina Love, Tara Terrell, and Velvet Sky, and it was basically just to make a fatal 4-way match for the knockouts title, which is weird that you have a champion who gets to pick their opponent. So instead of picking one, I'll pick 3. That really doesn't make much sense, but it is what it is in that case. And this brings to what the end of the show, which was the main event, of course, the Dixie Carter going through a table segment. Honestly, it made no sense of how they got her into that situation, in any correlation or any reasonable thinking. She was already in the crowd with King Mo, and honestly, he shouldn't even be around with the company, because it's not like he can do anything in the ring, because he's got his deal with Bellator, so he's not going to be able to do much inside of there in fear of injury. So why even bother having him? And then having her come out to the ring with everybody, and then firing Snitsky and Rick Long. It made no sense whatsoever. It just set up too easily to get that to happen in the ring. Of course, I mean, everyone went crazy for the table spot because, you know, they've been teasing it for months and months and months and months, and now they finally get it, so the crowd goes nuts and everything. It was just the whole setup to it. Made no sense whatsoever. So, honestly, I know the crowd was, you know, you had a very hot crowd in there, and honestly, this week's episode of Impact, I felt, outside of the X Division title match, was very lackluster and just not that entertaining to watch. Of course, the table spot at the end was kind of interesting, but made no sense of, you know, Dixie Carter actually coming out to the ring and putting herself in danger like that. It made even the most confident person would not have put themselves in that type of situation and then fire two of her protectors while she was out there. It just made no sense. So honestly, I can't give a good review to this show. I did not actually enjoy watching this show. The table spot at the end was, you know, that was what the big draw was, and I'm sure it brought people in, but I don't think it will keep people watching. It was a good chance to try to get people to come in and stick around and keep watching the show for weeks to come, but I think they failed in that aspect. But that's my own personal opinion on that. So that's my review for TNA Impact Wrestling this week, and I thank you guys for watching.